Tonight on CTV News at 6, educators arrested. A high school teacher and a music teacher charged with child pornography crimes. Highlands house fire. A new bill, no more. The neighbors are grateful their homes and some special possessions were saved.
I'm an artist, and some of these are my paintings.
And a castle under construction on someone's front lawn.
Every year we're trying to figure out, as they're building it, what we're going to see.
After a good long string of days in the 20s, that streak will come to an end tomorrow.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. 2 men in Edmonton, teachers, have been arrested charged with accessing and possessing child pornography. While the charges are related to online offenses, police are identifying the pair because they both worked with kids and teens. CTV's Evan Kenny joins us now in studio. Evan, what else do we know about the accused?
Jeff, Alberta's law enforcement response teams says 36-year-old Katz Dawson was a teacher at Lillian Osborne High School, and 32-year-old Alan Nelson taught music at Fiddle and Fugue, which he ran out of his home. Alert says the men lived together. The Integrated Child Exploitation Unit recently received a tip from the RCMP about child sexual abuse materials being shared online. Earlier this month, police searched the men's home. Police say sexual abuse materials was found on computers and other electronic devices belonging to the accused. Alert says the charges are related to online incidents, but because the men's work puts them in a position of trust and authority with children, their names are being made public.
So there's nothing in the investigation so far to suggest that any of the material that was being shared is new material. What we see a lot in these investigations is older or recycled child sexual abuse material. So there's nothing to indicate that there is new content or any local victims.
The pair have been released on a number of court-imposed conditions, including not having any contact with anyone under the age of 16. A spokesperson for Edmonton Public Schools says Dawson is not working in any division schools or buildings. Jeff?
All right, Evan, thank you. That's Evan Kenny live tonight. RCMP say foul play is not suspected in the disappearance of a 5-year-old in the Crow's Nest Pass. Darius McDougall was last seen walking with his 6 siblings near a campsite in the backcountry before he became separated. The search continues near Island Lake. Darius has autism, and police say that may prevent him from responding to others. The opioid crisis is reaching new heights in Edmonton. More than 300 people have died of drug poisoning this year, and that's just counting the first 5 months. Nicole Weisberg explains how small of a dose it takes for opioids to turn deadly.
Fentanyl in hospital is dosed in micrograms, and a microgram is 1,000 times smaller than this few grains of salt.
It's an example of how little fentanyl is needed to have an effect on the body. On the left, 1 gram of salt, the middle 100 milligrams, and the right 1 milligram. This forensic pharmacologist says in health settings, fentanyl is measured in even smaller doses.
Micrograms are virtually impossible to see with the naked eye, and this is why it's very difficult to dilute down.
Rochelle Booker provides police and others insight and expertise into the unregulated drug supply in Alberta.
We are seeing an increased prevalence of carfentanil in the Edmonton zone, but also seeing it spread out across the province as well.
Drug agencies say carfentanil is up to 100,000 times stronger than morphine and more than 100 times stronger than fentanyl. It was designed for large animal sedation, but it's being found on city streets.
Almost 90% of all deaths this year in Alberta due to a toxic drug overdose are secondarily to carfentanil, where the majority of those are occurring in Edmonton.
Robert Tenge with Recovery Alberta doesn't know why the problem is so prominent here, but he has a warning.
If you're using a drug and it's a powder or a pill or a chemical, you are extremely high risk right now of dying.
We have seen fentanyl and other high-potency opioids pressed to resemble prescription pills.
Anyone taking any unregulated opioid is advised to not use alone and to have naloxone on hand. There is also an overdose monitoring app you can use to notify paramedics if you stop responding. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
An artist from Edmonton is thanking firefighters for saving some of her own paintings and other precious items. Her house is next to one that went up in flames this morning. Nicole Lampa has more on the fire police are calling suspicious.
People in the Highlands waking up to a surprising orange hue at 3:30 a.m.
So I went and put my glasses on and I looked out the window front here and I saw it was full on fire. So I called 911 immediately.
The flames moving fast.
While I was on the phone, it completely engulfed the house.
Neighbors say the home was under construction. The exterior was just completed and the interior work was underway. Neighbors say a family was expecting to move in the spring.
It is still heartbreaking that when they're just doing a new build here, they move in April.
In the daylight, all that's left of the new build is a charred foundation. The inferno damaging neighboring homes. A couple who live in this house was at their cottage. The Holmgrens raced back to find some of their prized possessions, including art of an iconic Edmonton landmark saved by firefighters.
This is a pencil sketch of the old-timers cabin in Edmonton before it was built that my grandfather did.
I'm an artist, and some of these are my paintings. So they were able to save them as well. And we haven't seen inside, but we will deal with whatever it is. Life happens, and nobody lost their life. So overall, we're still on the positive side. We'll make it through.
A family with 3 teenage boys were asleep in the other neighboring home. They made it out safely.
So heartbreaking, and seeing all of our neighbors out. Like, you never want to see your neighbors on these circumstances, but we all kind of came together. We're all asking who needs blankets, who needs water.
Edmonton Fire says no one was injured. Now investigators are trying to figure out what and who caused this Highlands home to go up in flames. Nicole Lampa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Edmonton police are looking for a woman they say is stealing purses and wallets from schools and daycares. 44-year-old Shauna Watani is wanted on 47 outstanding warrants for theft and fraud. Police say Watani also removed a court-ordered ankle monitor. She also goes by Shauna Sanders. Warehouse Park is nearly complete. Organizers hope the new space will improve downtown Edmonton. CTV's Sasha Pietramala has an update on the project.
After more than 1 year of construction, a new park downtown is almost complete. City planners say Warehouse Park is transformative.
The park is intended to be a community space for the residents around this area, or the future residents of those of the area.
The $50 million park sits on 107th Street, just north of Jasper Avenue. In the middle, a huge metal ring that will showcase the Northern Lights.
Well, it lights up at night, and we can change the configuration of the lights and color changes. When you look down from the top, it will have quite a significant impact.
The space will also have a playground, basketball courts, dog park, and pavilion. The Downtown Community League president says this green space will be a focal point for downtown.
We're very excited about green space, play spaces, public space for people to come together and gather.
Some nearby businesses say, even with the inconvenience of construction, the end result will be worth it.
Having a park there is definitely going to make a difference. It certainly brings it more life, for sure, and hopefully, places for people to come on their lunch breaks to kind of hang out.
The city says safety is also a priority at the park when it opens.
Well, we know that we have an issue around the unhoused downtown, and certainly we want to be proactive and make this space inclusive for everyone, and so that's going to be our intent here.
Already, a residential tower has been built next door. It's expected more are on the way.
Ultimately, Warehouse Park was envisioned as a catalyst project, and it is already doing its job. We know that there's roughly 6 development applications in the vicinity of the park.
The city says the park is on time to open before the end of this year. Sasha Pietramala, CTV News, Edmonton.
Some of the newest films in the world will make their Edmonton premiere in the next couple of weeks, including more than 24 made here, locally. It's part of the 39th annual Edmonton International Film Festival. Amanda Anderson reports.
This will be very special because it's in my hometown.
In just a few days, Simon Glassman will get to see a film he created on the big screen at the Garneau Theatre.
It's premiering all around the world, but here in Edmonton, to me, it's the most important because it's like so much of the film is about Edmonton. And there's so many jokes that I made specifically for people in Edmonton.
Come have a little bit of everything at Buffet Infinity.
His film, called Buffet Infinity, is made up primarily of commercials.
Like locally produced commercials. And we return to each of these commercials throughout the film, and it gets progressively, I guess, more dire as things go on.
Glassman says it's something he's been working on for years.
There's like 200 or 300 individual commercials in the movie itself, but there's got to be like 500 or 600 that have just never made it.
It's making its Edmonton debut as part of the 39th Edmonton International Film Festival. 2,400 films were submitted, but only about 140 made this year's cut.
This is a festival that loves to celebrate cinema from around the world, but one of our major focuses is on filmmakers that we grow here in our own backyard.
About 5 feature-length films and 25 short films were produced locally.
Some of our biggest screenings would be our Biff Naked screening that we have this coming Friday. That's a documentary about, obviously, this incredible, iconic Canadian singer, and we're going to have Biff Naked here at Metro Cinema to do a Q&A and acoustic performance after the film. Tickets to that are almost sold out.
Another popular local production, Last Stop Video Rentals, sold out. An encore screening was added. Buffet Infinity tickets are also going fast. It's a film the festival's art director says is unlike anything they've had before.
We think Edmonton has so many great, diverse artistic voices, but I've never seen anything quite like this from one of our filmmakers, especially taken to a feature length in the way that he did. The best way to describe it would be you're watching the world come to an end, but you're on the TV Guide channel.
The festival runs September 25th to October 4th. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Oilers forward Vasily Podkolzin was the center of attention at Oilers practice today. Players congratulating Podkolzin for signing a 3-year contract extension. It will pay him nearly $3 million a season. The 24-year-old scored 8 goals and 24 points last season, his first with the Oilers. He added 10 points in the playoffs. He says the team is giving him a great opportunity.
It's awesome. I mean, really happy to be here for the next few years, and it's a great group of guys here, and yeah, they need to get a job done.
I just feel that he's a hard worker, complements any player that he's playing with, whether it's a skilled player or kind of a more simple forechecking, defensive-minded line.
Oilers preseason continues tonight when they face the Jets in Winnipeg. Starting next week, homeowners can put out fall yard waste for curbside pickup. Garden experts say this is the time to prepare your yards for winter so they can be in decent shape come spring. As Narman Issa explains, that includes leaving the fallen leaves alone.
Fall may have just started, but winter isn't far behind, which means preparing your yard.
But fall is actually the best time to get out in the yard and do a lot of this stuff.
Rob Sproul is the owner of Salisbury Greenhouse in Sherwood Park. He says by putting in the work now, you will see a payoff in the spring. He says the first step is to take care of your lawn. That includes spreading fertilizer before the snow falls.
Fall fertilizer has all those good micronutrients, and it's basically like chamomile tea for your lawn. It kind of gets them tucked in.
Sproul says don't get too carried away with the rake.
You don't have to rake off every leaf. The leaves will actually break down and put nitrogen back into the soil over the winter. So unless you absolutely cannot see your lawn because the leaves are so thick, you don't need to rake it all.
Next step is taking care of your trees and shrubs. If you are planning on planting new ones, Sproul says now is the time to do it.
The weather's cooler, so plant's metabolism slowed right down. And so you just plant in a big hole so you get lots of good loose soil around that root ball so those fibrous roots have some time to colonize before winter. Water it really, really well.
Over in your garden, Sproul says to use a pitchfork, not a rototiller, to prepare the soil for next year's harvest. That means bringing in something like cow manure to help.
You've had heavy feeders in your soil, tomatoes, peppers, corn, etc., things that have pulled a lot of nitrogen out of the soil. You need to amend that soil. It's going to get pretty dusty and depleted.
Finally, for your perennials, they don't necessarily need to be cut down.
You can cut them back for aesthetics. but nature knows what it's doing. And so, you often don't have to cut those perennials back as much as you think.
Spurl says by doing the work now, you will have a healthy yard ready for planting and growing come the spring. Nair Misa, CTV News, Edmonton.
It's almost been too nice out to consider winter, Josh.
God, listen, that is music to my ears. I am not raking this coming weekend. Weather actually looks like it'll be fairly decent again this weekend, although tomorrow, a little taste of some autumn temperatures. Today, we got up 23 for a daytime high. We're at 21 in downtown Edmonton right now. Wind has been pretty light in the city, a little stronger there south of the city, about 20, 25 kilometers per hour. 23 for the high puts us 6 degrees warmer than average. And for the 19th consecutive day, temperatures have been in the 20s. That's going to change tomorrow. We started the day at 9 degrees, 3 degrees warmer than average. This is what it looks like outside with the CTV drone. Lots of blue skies hanging over the city. Well done, Sean McClune. Blue skies over the city. That's a spectacular shot of the River Valley right now. We will see some increased cloud cover, I think, overnight tonight. You can see that stripe of cloud riding right along the jet stream there from Peace Country off to the northeast towards Fort McMurray. Some showers in through that area as well. As that cloud sneaks south overnight tonight and through tomorrow morning, it does bring with it a chance of showers. It's not going to rain tonight. It'll be about 16 degrees mid-evening and then mostly cloudy around 8 degrees tomorrow morning. It'll be late morning or midday that if we're going to see some showers at all, that would be the most likely time frame. You see 16 degrees mid-evening, but mid-afternoon tomorrow, we only get to 16 for a daytime high. Should be back in the 20s on Thursday, though. We'll take a closer look at that and your weekend forecast in a couple minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Still to come, calls for increased supports.
Maybe it's not just about have we got enough family doctors, but have we got enough family doctors relative to the need that Albertans have.
What a 15-year study is revealing about the state of healthcare in Alberta. Plus,
that is a much more sustainable model to have ambulatory clinics in a community setting like this one.
How a new health center in South Edmonton might relieve pressure at the Grey Nuns.
Coming up Wednesday on Your Morning, tips to help you get your yard ready for winter. Plus, getting to know some of the birds of prey that call Edmonton home. We'll see you at 6.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Researchers at the University of Calgary say Alberta family doctors are dealing with sicker, more complicated patients and increased supports are needed. CTV's Stephanie Thomas has more on what a new study suggests to improve patient care.
Lisa Ransom Williams has a complex medical history. While she appreciates her providers for the quality of care offered, she says that waiting for referrals, diagnostics, and surgical dates is painful.
The reason I would go to a hospital over going to my GP is not because she's not great, but you know you're going to wait, and then she's going to give you a rec to go get an MRI or to go get and then you got to wait for that.
She says the state of healthcare in Alberta isn't working for patients or doctors.
That's the system, unfortunately. It's conveyor belt. It's in and out, right?
A new study from the University of Calgary looks at the challenges facing Alberta's family doctors. It spans from 2004 to 2020. In that time, it found Alberta struggled to retain primary care doctors while the population increased. Baby boomers aged, and the caseload for doctors climbed. The number of patients with 5 or more health conditions has doubled, increasing complexity.
So maybe it's not just about have we got enough family doctors, but have we got enough family doctors relative to the need that Albertans have.
Researchers suggest primary care networks that group allied health professionals under one roof would improve working conditions for doctors and improve patient care. Nurses, dietitians, physiotherapists, mental health professionals and diagnostics working together.
We need to bolster the team with more of those types of services to meet the needs of Albertans.
He adds the province should improve its workforce planning. The past president of the Alberta Medical Association says the province has already implemented changes to improve primary care with the new compensation model to pay for time-consuming tasks like charting.
It's been hard to recruit in Alberta. We're turning that around with the new funding model, so that's going to help, but it doesn't help that we have hundreds of thousands of new people coming into our province that need family docs.
The province responded to CTV via email, saying as of June 2025, Alberta registered a record number of new physicians in 1 year, with 571, of which 355 are family physicians. Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
Covenant Health has opened a new health centre in southeast Edmonton. The space is in the Lakewood community near the Grey Nuns Hospital. It's home to clinics and a range of other medical services, including a blood lab, medical imaging, surgical, cardiac care, and a diabetes centre for education. Covenant Health says officials spent a lot of time learning how best the health centre could serve the community. This is also designed to take some of the pressure off the Grey Nuns Hospital.
So ambulatory space, when it's moved here, opens up the Grey Nuns to grow their emergency department and any other services that are needed right now. And that is a much more sustainable model to have ambulatory clinics in a community setting like this one than expanding the Grey Nuns.
Covenant Health says the second phase of the centre will include a seniors care community for independent living. Some deaf athletes from Alberta are worried a funding crunch could prevent them from competing on the world stage. The Deaf Olympics are scheduled for November in Tokyo. Marathon runner Marisol Narvis says this is supposed to be her first games. Canadian deaf athletes are facing a severe financial crisis, and the lack of cash could jeopardize their shot at competing.
This is an opportunity for elite athletes to come to an international stage, and to not be able to have that opportunity because funding was the barrier is incredibly disheartening. And I think, again, there's an opportunity to have that conversation and build awareness, but also an opportunity for people to step up and donate to athletes like myself to help send us to a games.
The Canadian Deaf Sports Association says it's working to raise $100,000 to help send athletes to the games. Coming up, going above and beyond.
The length of the castle itself is 20 feet wide, not including the spools.
The work going into the newest Halloween attraction in North Edmonton.
It should be a beautiful night tonight. Skies will stay fairly clear early this evening, and temperatures staying in the mid to upper teens. We're only going to get to the mid-teens for a high tomorrow, though. Big cool down on the way. We'll talk more about that after the break.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A family in northeast Edmonton is once again going the extra mile for Halloween. A pirate ship previously stood on their front lawn. This year, they're switching it up. CTV's Merrick DeCash shows us what they're building.
Dave Awanek is building his latest Halloween creation, a haunted castle standing 7 feet tall on his front lawn.
Well, it was about end of August where the wife and I were discussing Halloween and how we did the pirate ship 2 years ago and how we had to try and top it.
Hundreds of people came by to check out the pirate ship in 2023. This year, the Awanek family wants to go bigger and better.
Well, the width is 16 feet wide. The length of the castle itself is 20 feet wide, not including the spools, so probably about 23 feet long.
The whole family, including Dave's mother, has been pitching ideas for the castle.
Children get very excited around here. They can hardly wait till it's finished.
And the neighborhood has been noticing.
It's a lot of work. We've had a lot of people drive by and take pictures.
Every year we're trying to figure out as they're building it what we're gonna see. So it's a game we play with the kids of like guessing of what's going on next.
She made her guess a few weeks ago as the pillars were going up.
We thought this one was going to be a church. That was our first guess, but it's pretty awesome, and I think it's topping the Pirate so far.
Dave and his family hope to have the finishing touches put on the castle by October 1st.
And then just getting all the decorations put up also on the inside, too.
Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
New kind of info, popular with the kids. Perfect.
Ready to move in.
Yes.
We got a little ways to go yet before Halloween is here. And I think for the most part, most of the next week and a half should actually be fairly mild. It's just tomorrow that could be the coolest day in the next 10. River Valley Skycams brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right where it's free. We're at 21 degrees under sunny skies right now. Take a look at your temperature calendar. The only thing you're going to see here, aside from red, is one average day so far the entire month. That's it. And that is the only day this month that we've had a daytime high that wasn't in the 20s. We're now at 19 consecutive days, 20 or hotter, just that one teen day so far this month. You go back to August, 37 of the past 39 days have been in the 20s. That streak ends tomorrow. Will be about 16, maybe 17 for a high. 19 at Fort McMurray for a high today. 15 in Grand Prairie. You can update this to 23 in downtown Edmonton and 28 in Red Deer. Temperatures tomorrow should be considerably cooler right across the province. Scattered showers there off to the south of Fort McMurray. You've got some showers as well south of the Grand Prairie area. We're still in fairly clear skies around most of the Edmonton region and south. But this cloud, which has developed right along the jet stream there, that will eventually start to slide south late this evening, overnight tonight. You get some rain overnight off to the north and to the west, and then this actually could be some heavier, steadier pockets of rain overnight and through early tomorrow morning in parts of western Alberta, so we'll keep an eye on that. Here in Edmonton, I think the best chance, kind of falls apart, but the best chance if we're going to see anything at all would be late morning or midday, then some clearing later in the day. Big warm-up on the way for Friday. We're 16 or 17 for a high tomorrow, but 21 or 22 Thursday out ahead of this low. And then that cold front gives us a chance of showers Thursday evening and drops temperatures again for Friday. 17 degrees right now in Fort McMurray. It's 21 in Edmonton. Red Deer's at 27 degrees, 15 in Grand Prairie currently. There's your temperatures through the next 24 hours. Mid-teens, mid-evening, dropping to a low of about 8 degrees and a high of about 15 or 16 degrees through the mid to late afternoon hours tomorrow, with that chance of some scattered showers late morning or midday. And wind, aside from a few gusts around lunchtime as those showers go through, wind should be fairly light. 16 tomorrow, 21 on Thursday. There's a chance of a late day shower with that cold front Thursday night. We're back to about 17 or 18 Friday. And then warms up again, 20 to 21 for highs Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So if you compare those temperatures to average, outside of tomorrow, which is around average, most of the next week and a half and into the first few days of October, daytime highs are right around or slightly warmer than average. And we're not completely done with the 20s just yet. Yes, we'll drop back into the teens for a high tomorrow. We see a few more teen temperatures here for daytime highs, but there are also a handful of 20-something daytime highs on the way over the rest of the month and into early October.
Thanks, Josh. Still ahead, Mark Carney's wife addresses the UN in her first international speech.
As a mother, I simply cannot fathom the horror. What these children have endured is more than unjust. It is inhumane.
After the break, the war crime Diana Carney is calling global attention to, and why Canada's privacy watchdog says TikTok's efforts to protect kids were inadequate. Donald Trump has shifted his tone on Ukraine, now saying the country can reclaim the land it lost to Russia. A post on Truth Social reads, in part, after seeing the economic trouble it is causing Russia, I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. Trump also says the U.S. will continue to supply weapons to NATO for NATO to do with what they want with them. Today at the United Nations General Assembly, the spouses of Canada's Prime Minister and Ukraine's President stepped into the spotlight. They're calling for children abducted by Russia to be returned home. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
At the United Nations, the Prime Minister and President Volodymyr Zelensky called for the return of thousands of Ukrainian children taken by Russia.
Putin has stolen Ukrainian children.
Russia first abducted them and deported them.
Together with our allies.
The most emotional pleas came from their wives. Diana Fox-Carney making her first international speech alongside her husband.
As a mother, I simply cannot fathom the horror. What these children have endured is more than unjust. It is inhumane.
Their identities are changed, their ties severed, their hopes destroyed.
Canada said it's investing in AI technology to help find the Ukrainian children. Only about 1,600 children have been returned to their families. In his address to the General Assembly, President Donald Trump spoke of his frustrations with the continuing war.
It was supposed to be just a quick little skirmish. It's not making Russia look good. It's making them look bad.
Earlier this summer, during a meeting with Vladimir Putin, Trump hand-delivered a letter from the First Lady calling for the return of the children. Her efforts were acknowledged by Mark Carney in front of European leaders.
We welcome the recent powerful appeal to President Putin by the First Lady of the United States to consider the plight of children in ending this war.
This is an area of common ground between Carney and Trump at a moment when Canada is breaking with the U.S. in recognizing the state of Palestine. Judy Trin, CTV News, New York.
The U.S. Secret Service says it dismantled a hidden network that could have massively disrupted communications in New York.
Empty apartments with servers and server walls capable of making millions and millions of phone calls in and around New York City and the world that could potentially cripple New York City and other parts of the world.
More than 100,000 SIM cards were seized, clustered within about 55 kilometers of New York City. Officials say they could have sent 30 million anonymous text messages every minute, which would completely overwhelm communications. Investigators believe the plot is the work of a well-funded and organized group working on behalf of a foreign nation. No arrests were made. Operations have resumed at airports in Oslo and Copenhagen after they were forced to shut down for hours because of unidentified drones flying in the area. This video shows one of the mysterious drones in Denmark. It caused flights to ground and divert, creating a ripple effect that impacted tens of thousands of passengers. Denmark's prime minister called it the most severe attack on Danish infrastructure to date, and that Russia cannot be ruled out as the perpetrator. Moscow later denied any involvement. Several people are dead and dozens are missing after Super Typhoon Ragasa ripped through the Philippines and Taiwan. These people were rescued as raging water threatened to sweep them away. Ragasa is considered the strongest storm in the world so far this year. It's now heading for China and Hong Kong. Hundreds of thousands of people have been evacuated from their homes and hundreds of flights have been grounded. The storm is expected to make landfall in China tomorrow. Implementation plans for the federal government's contentious gun buyback program were released today as the minister responsible struggled to publicly defend it. As CTV's Rachel Aiello explains, the rollout won't immediately impact Albertans.
Have you not failed at the task of getting this moving faster?
Absolutely not.
The public safety minister faced tough questions today as he unveiled the next phase of the federal firearm buyback.
The opening of the program to individual owners.
A program that he questioned the efficacy and enforceability of in audio leaked just yesterday.
I have absolute confidence in this program.
Then why did you say what you said? After a Cape Breton test run, owners nationwide of the more than 2,000 makes and models of firearms that the Liberals have outlawed will be contacted with instructions on how to participate. Those seeking compensation will either be able to turn their firearms over to local police after scheduling a time online, or keep them after proving they've been deactivated by a licensed gunsmith. The public safety minister said the context of his recorded comments were that he wanted the program implemented faster. But now, years after the buyback was first promised, firearms owners have until October 2026 to comply. And critics are calling for Gary Anandasangari's resignation.
On Monday, a minister says that his program won't work. On Tuesday, he says he's going ahead with the program.
The minister also faced calls today from gun control groups to expand the ban, saying unless additional semi-automatics are added, Canada's buyback program will be a waste of the more than $700 million already allocated. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canadian privacy authorities say TikTok's efforts to block children and protect their personal information are inadequate.
TikTok collects vast amounts of personal information about its users, including children. This data is being used to target the content and ads that users see, which can have harmful impacts, particularly on youth.
A joint investigation by federal and provincial officials found hundreds of thousands of Canadian children have accessed TikTok annually, and that TikTok has been collecting and using their personal information, despite the company saying its video sharing platform is not intended for people under the age of 13. TikTok has agreed to strengthen its communication on privacy measures and enhance methods to prevent underage access. Governments around the world that have been scrutinizing TikTok because of concerns China could use the app to harvest users' data and advance its own interests. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, a very brave boy.
And I said to myself, I'm about to die.
The dog that's being called a hero after his face-off with a grizzly. Plus,
they have just as much love to give as any dog or cat.
Dozens of guinea pigs looking for their forever homes. And here's a live shot from the CTV drone above the North Saskatchewan River, above Hermitage Park as well in East Edmonton. Another beautiful day, a slight cool down, but more great weather on the way. Stay with us.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Edmonton, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
Looking at the markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents to the American dollar. Oil gained more than $1, closing at $63.41 U.S. a barrel. Gold was up more than $40 on the day. The TSX and Dow Jones both ended the day lower, down 143 points and 88 points, respectively. Following a review of policing in Rocky Mountain House, the town will be sticking with the RCMP instead of creating its own police service. The town says there will be changes to the RCMP in the community. One of the suggested changes is to create a new position to oversee relations with the RCMP and community peace officers. The goal is to ensure good communication and teamwork. The town says no changes will be implemented until the new council is elected in October, and staying with the RCMP makes the most financial sense. A dog is being hailed as a hero after saving his owner from a grizzly bear attack in southern Alberta. The 10-year-old Doberman leapt into action while out on a hike last spring, putting himself between a man and a charging bear. Mark Villani reports.
Craig Campbell and his dog Knight are inseparable, but in May of 2024, that almost changed in the shock of their lives.
And I said to myself, I'm about to die.
Campbell was hiking along this trail northwest of Cochrane, a quiet wooded area bordered by nearby farms, when suddenly he came face to face with a grizzly sow and its 2 cubs.
She came racing out of the bush at full speed. Everything was silent, really, except for the huffing of the bear, which was so loud.
Struggling to reach his bear spray, Campbell's 10-year-old Doberman sprang into action, leaping in front of the animal that stood more than 2 meters tall on its back legs.
Giving me time to get my bear spray out, at which point I said to myself over and over, I'm going to live, I'm going to live, I'm going to live.
The bear dropped down from its legs and returned to its cubs. The life-saving act of heroism now being recognized nationally. Knight was inducted into the Purina Animal Hall of Fame.
Pets are not just pets, they are family members. And they do these beautiful, courageous, heroic acts.
I knew I had a good dog, but it's a nice recognition.
Despite the honor, there are lessons to be learned about interactions between bears and unleashed dogs.
It generally leads to a negative encounter, not a positive one.
It's why wildlife educators encourage hikers to travel in groups and keep pets close.
And that way you've got the person who has the dog, they can keep a hold of them, keep control of them, while the other people are there able to get out their bear spray, prepared to do what they've got to do to try to get out of the situation.
But Campbell says he's grateful to be alive, now living the quiet life on Prince Edward Island with Knight. Still, he's crediting years of dog training and an unbreakable bond with man's best friend.
The best dog is the dog you have in front of you.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
The Calgary Zoo has taken in a pair of orphaned grizzly bear cubs. Fish and Wildlife Enforcement Services says a hunter shot and killed a grizzly bear that charged at him last week near Diamond Valley. The bear left 2 cubs behind. They were both born this year and would have been unable to care for themselves. Wildlife officers captured the cubs and brought them to the Calgary Zoo. The zoo says they're getting lots of love from zookeepers while it works on finding them a safe home. 33 guinea pigs have been rescued from a sanctuary in northern Alberta. The sanctuary had been overrun with the animals after a large number were given up. The Alberta Animal Rescue Crew Society took them in and is now trying to find them new homes. The society says this is the largest intake it has ever had. The organization is looking for people willing to foster or adopt.
Guinea pigs are really social, friendly little creatures. We have them set up in pairs already, so they will be adopted out in pairs. They do need fresh veggies and hay every single day. They need about 8 square feet for their enclosure. They have just as much love to give as any dog or cat that you could adopt as well.
The society is also seeking donations to help provide food, supplies, and vet care for the guinea pigs. Still ahead, why a BC man is filling the sky with big bubbles.
It's fantastic. It's really bringing me back to my childhood.
I'm just appreciating the color and the shape.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk. Programming brought to you by Southview Acura. For family-owned, award-winning excellence, Southview Acura, where luxury meets reality.
A brother and sister from Victoria have come up with a recipe for joy. Part soap, part water, their bubbly concoction is adding effervescence to the lives of strangers. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains.
While most people simply see bubbles, Dasha has paused her daily walk to appreciate them as something more magical.
It's a fairy tale.
A fairy tale filled with soapy sprites that have the power to make this almost 90-year-old feel like she's younger than 9 again.
It's fantastic. It's really bringing me back to my childhood.
If the bubbles are magic, then Caleb Essex must be a magician. But he says he's not.
It's nice when it's sunny and you can get out and enjoy the weather.
Well, perhaps you'll think Caleb is a chef after he reveals his bubble recipe that begins with soap and water.
And the secret ingredient is guar gum, which is a food additive thickener for sauces and things like that.
But Caleb's no cook, and guar gum is not responsible for the bubbles unsticking the negativity David says he sees on the news and replacing it with positivity.
I'm not thinking about anything when I'm watching bubbles. I'm just appreciating the color and the shape.
And falling under the spell of this kaleidoscope of color must be magic. But Caleb cites science.
And so the light will enter the side of the bubble and bounce between the layers. And then depending on how thick the bubble is, it will give different colors.
But Caleb is not a scientist. And although his audience seems entranced, he's not a busker.
Just come to spread the bubbles.
This is just a hobby that Caleb and his sister had so much fun doing together, they decided to share it with others.
And it makes a lot of people happy and brings a smile to their face, so why not?
Because you don't need to wield a wand or recite a spell to make other people's days feel, if just for a moment, like magic. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
Nice weather out there as well. We got to 23 for a daytime high today. We will be considerably cooler tomorrow. 8 degrees tomorrow morning, just 16, maybe 17 for a daytime high. We'll see if we can get some clearing through the afternoon hours. Mostly cloudy, though, to start. And late morning or around lunchtime, you might see a few scattered showers push through. I think there's a better chance that we could see some showers Thursday evening after warming back up into the 20s Thursday afternoon. Beyond that, looks pretty dry for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and temperatures slightly above average for the coming weekend and a few more days in the 20s.
All right, thanks, Josh, and thanks for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Have a great weekend.